lovely people. Your eyes do not deceive you. I am posting for the second time this week.
Sophie Vlogs.
Before I dive into the main oomph of this video, just a brief note to say that if you follow me on Twitter, you already know this, but I'm thinking of starting to post twice weekly because I have a humongous backlog of book chats to get through. This is a abnormal Friday because I'm posting a non-book chat, but maybe in the future I might do 2 videos a week. One of them is like a thing and one of them is a book chat. I don't know. I need to make sure that I actually have enough videos filmed to be able to do this. We'll see. That's that. As for now, I'm going to dive into my Mistake Readathon TBR video. I've mentioned Mistake a couple of times on this channel. It is run by Ahdieh at Frolic Through Fiction and Scarlet at Paperbacks and Vlogging. I recommend you subscribe to both of them. They're both great. The enthusiasm they have for like mythology retellings, folktale retellings, fairytale retellings, stuff like that, it is so infectious. It is bringing such joy to my life. I'll leave a link to Mistake's Twitter and stuff down below so you can go and like have a little scruple and everything. But essentially, from August 5th to August 18th, they're running the Mistake Readathon, which is focused on fantasy retellings of mythology, fairy tales, that sort of thing. There are a number of prompts. This is my video where I talk about what I'm going to read for those prompts. So I'm just going to stop waffling and I'm just going to dive into it. Each book you pick can count for 3 challenges. So I've set myself 4 books in total to read, starting with Bitter Greens by Kate Forsyth, which you're probably going to see me talk about next week in my birthday book haul, which I don't think has been posted yet, but I'm filming it straight after this. But this fulfills the prompts of green or yellow on the cover, is very yellow, and over 400 pages, because this is 495 pages. Bitter Greens is a retelling of Rapunzel that is set within the court of Louis XIV, the Sun King, and like Louis XIV is one of like my favourite historical moments. I think it's great. This focuses on 3 different women. Their 3 stories are weaved together. That's about all I know of it, but I'm very excited to dive in, and I think it's going to be lovely. Next up is a book which I don't actually have yet because I've requested it from my library, because my library has like, you can request books that are in other libraries and they will like bring them to your library. So I requested Flame in the Mist by Renee, Ahdieh, which I gather is, from what I can tell, from what I've heard on BookTube, it's not a Mulan retelling, but it is inspired by Mulan. It's also drawing on Japanese mythology. That's all I really know about it, so I just thought my library network has it, I'll give it a go. It fulfills the prompts of written by a person of colour and Asian influence. That's about all I know because you're like, oh, this sounds really intriguing, but I don't really want to go for spoilers. So what I understand about this is that our main character is her father's an alchemist in the court or something. She gets embroiled in some things. She has to really use like her wits to survive. Again, that's very, very vague, I know, but I didn't want to spoil anything for myself, so I just thought, hey, I'll go for that one. Following on from that, we've got The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This one's been really making the rounds on BookTube lately because it's been nominated for so many things. This fulfills the prompt of mythology retelling and animal on the cover because there are some little birds. And I'm counting them because otherwise I have nothing for animal on the cover. This is a retelling of the Iliad from the point of view of the women such as Briseis, who, as we all know, because they don't shut up about it, is my bae. I wrote my entire dissertation on her. Love the woman. So I'm very intrigued about that. I think the cover is beautiful. I've heard some mixed things sometimes about the presence of Achilles in this text and an Achilles point of view, throwing off some of the like feminist retelling aspect. I'm going to be interested to see how I find that, but I've been meaning to dive into this one for a while, so hyped. And then finally, I'm reading Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, which is the 2nd book in the Lunar Chronicles. This one is filling my host rec because Charlotte in her video recommended Cinder, which I have read, so I'm hoping that doing a sequel is acceptable and still fulfills that prompt. Because I've been meaning to read the rest of this series for ages. I read Cinder like 5 years ago or something, And yes, so I started reading this because I got it out from my library just because I was like, I should finish this series. I got like 3 chapters in and then I realised it would work really well for this, so I sort of paused it and I'm going to resume it on the 5th. But yes, so I haven't got the book of the month, which is, I can't remember what it's called. My library doesn't have it, so I'm not going to read that one. All of these books are also written by women, so it fulfills the prompt to read a book written by a woman. So I'm just going to sort of give that to all 4 of them. So that's it. Those are the books I am planning on reading. Are you taking part in Mistake Readathon? If so, what are you reading? Have you read any of these before? I would love to hear all of your thoughts on that. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing everyone's updates and all of that lot while we do it. That's it from me. I hope you have a really lovely day, and I'll see you next week for something different.